Hi. I just have a quick question I was wondering if someone could help me with.
Sure.
Do you have a minute?
Sure.
Thanks. Well, I was talking to a Jehovah's Witness, and they were using a really interesting point about saying that the word Trinity isn't in the Bible.
Uh-huh.
So is that a good way to prove that something is not true?
Well, there's lots of other evidence.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one point.
Oh, yeah. So it's a legitimate point. But I was looking up a lot of the words that you guys say and the magazines say, and I couldn't find them in the Bible either.
Oh, sure. Well, that's just one point. You know, that it seems that if the Trinity was something that was to be taught, that it would be there. That's just one point. I mean, there's
Right. It's a great point. So I thought it's a great point also, you know, like even on some of them, even the concept isn't there. You know, like counting time, like reporting your time, like as though you were working for a corporation. Like there's no concept about that in the Bible.
Sure. And the real thing that we're concerned about is that we're whole souled. That just helps us to keep track of, what's being accomplished is basically the reason there.
So, why do you have to put your name on it then?
Well, it sounds like have you been to the meetings?
Oh, yeah, I was invited to one, so yeah, I saw what it was kind of like. But like, for example, such a big concept in the literature I noticed was the phrase paradise earth. So I searched it in the concordance. It's not in any version of the Bible.
Oh, the term paradise is?
I meant the term paradise earth, which I use very repetitively.
And, well, this is, so I'm wondering, are you calling to argue, or do you want to discuss this further? Or?
Yeah, I just wondered what you would think about it. Like, say, also like pioneers, auxiliary pioneers, district overseers, circuit overseers, kingdom halls. I mean, even making different kind of status levels within a congregation. I mean, I don't see that really in Scripture either. You know, like if you do so many hours, you could be a higher level. It almost seems like you're an Amway or something like that, you know.
That's really not the point of that. There's different status levels. There's really, we're all brothers and sisters. And
then why have that at all? I mean,
what's that?
Why do they have that then? It's such a big deal. Like you get more status if you're this or that or whatever, you know.
Well, really, we're not about status. Like even the elders, which is a term that's used in different Bibles. It's just somebody that has different responsibilities, and that's the same way with like a pioneer or anything else. It's just they volunteer to do this work full time.
Seems like they do get a lot of status.
Who do?
These different levels. To me, it just kind of researching the movement, it seems like they do get status.
Well,
like spirituality, like you're more spiritual if you're this or that, you know, because they just gauge it by preaching hours, which there's nothing in the New Testament about that. The New Testament even talks about each person having different spiritual gifts.
That's right. It says
instead of a cookie-cutter measurement of spirituality like that.
Really, and that's not really the point of it at all. As a person, that maybe goes in the ministry for 2 hours might be more spiritual than a person.
So then what is the point of it?
It's just to keep track of things. And
keep track of things.
Work towards the goal that, different ones have, like to pioneer. And it's not for status. Like me, I've been an elder for 40-some years, and it's no status to it. It's just a work.
It's just a work. It's not like a separate ecclesiastical class. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, okay. Because you know that recently in court they claimed that they don't need to report child sex abuse because they're a special ecclesiastical class. So they're exempt from clergy, mandatory reporting. What?
I just moved here. But
oh,
in
okay.
many states, there is, you can't report it. It's called ecclesiastical privilege.
Right. Right. Yeah, they're claiming they're like a priest, so they don't have to report to the police. Right. Right.
Well, it's not that we don't want to. It's that really it protects the people and
it protects pedophiles. Yes, it does.
Well, it protects the the whole system. It's just like a priest.
Yeah.
He hears things.
That's a really wild thing to hear from a Jehovah's Witness, just like a priest. Have you ever read all their screeds about Catholics? So you're just like the harlot of Babylon? I mean, do you realize how incredible that you are even saying that?
Well, what I'm saying from a legal point.
Yeah. Yeah.
That there's even I don't care what religion you are, if you're Baptist or whatever, a minister, if a person come and confess a sin, they have the right to privacy.
I don't think you're trying to protect their rights, and that's going to be interesting to see what happens. And did you read about this, the Montana case?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well.
I've heard of others, but. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you should definitely read the details, especially since you could be implicated in these things at some point. They are. Often it's the corporation they're suing, but they have gone more specific down the line there. And it really, for people to read this, it just doesn't really look good trying to claim that when they have ranted for decades about confessional, the dilemma of the confessional. There's even an article in the Watchtower about it, that this privilege priests have. So there's even an article about how they didn't have to call for a murderer priest, and like the Watchtower article was like criticizing that. So this is like an incredible crime. It murders people's lives. And, do you think elders are qualified to do internal investigations? I mean, this is a very specific detective type training that law enforcement gets.
Mm-hmm. Well, the whole point comes down to that with this, you have to maintain confidentiality.
Why do they? Okay, you have to. Okay, so why do in states that absolutely require reporting, they do? Because if you had that conviction, then you never would call the police. Some states do not have that loophole, and you guys call the branch to find out what to do.
So the point is, though, where we're required to, like I lived in Ecuador for a number of years, and we would go down and fill out the police report.
Right.
Because that's
what
right. Required law.
Right.
But see, the people that commit the crime here are protected by the law.
Yeah. And if you had that conviction of confidentiality, then you wouldn't do it even if it was the law. Did you know priests do that? They consider it sacred. So even if it's a law, many of them won't do it. See, so your conviction is whatever, works at the time. You will claim confidentiality in one situation, but if you guys could get sued, as they did in Pennsylvania and lost, they will. Although in that case they didn't, even though it was an absolute law. They didn't allow this loophole. And because of what happened with this pedophile, a girl was molested for 5 years from age 5 through 10. Now, this is the facts of this court case. Because they handled it internally and then put him out for less than a year. And then he comes back, and then he's still doing it, right? So I think there's a lot of problems, as the Australia Royal Commission uncovered. Did you read about that?
No, I haven't. And it really doesn't concern me.
It doesn't concern you. Well, I'm a member of.
I don't know the facts, and even what's reported in the media.
Wow.
I don't trust.
Well, in Australia, as in this Montana case, you can read the official government transcript.
What is your motive? That's what I'm trying to
I care about this issue since you brought it up as being a special ecclesiastical class. And I think it's shocking. And I think it's shocking and awful that you are not even up on this by thinking it's fake news. I really find this really disturbing. And I think you should, in your position. How would you feel if Catholics were like, I don't read about that. It's fake news. You guys have published so many articles about Catholic child sexual abuse on the website, historically, and there's nothing about the Jehovah's Witness cases on the website anywhere.
Well, tell you what, we protect the children in such a case, and to the degree possible, and anybody that ever has been convicted or even accused of child abuse is not used in the congregation. And you can't tell me any other religion is as clean as Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, my goodness. You're so out of touch with the public perception. There's going to be another television special about it in February.
Okay. I really, I don't think this is going to go anywhere.
If your conscience gets to you and you feel like investigating about this, the Australia one is called, and you can Google Australia Royal Commission Case Study 29. And I'd really respect you guys more if you did at least know what was going on.
Well,
to say it's the cleanest organization shows that you're living in this JW world and you have no idea what's going on. This is getting, you guys have a worse reputation than Catholics for this right now.
Well, I don't believe that. Anybody who knows Witnesses knows better than that.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going anywhere.
Okay. Well, thanks for talking with me.